The Central Bank of Nigeria recently came up with a circular on 0.5% cybersecurity levy on customers without proper awareness and sensitization. This has generated public outcry, with Nigerians calling on the federal government to review the policy.
The House is worried that this act has led to apprehension, as civil society organizations and citizens of the country have taken to conventional and social media to call out the federal government, give ultimatums for reversal of the imposed levy on Nigerians, amongst others.
These lawmakers are beaming their torchlight on the proposed levy, describing it as unfortunate following the economic situation in the country.
The House is further worried that unless immediate pragmatic steps are taken to halt the proposed action of the CBN, the Cyber Crimes Act shall be implemented in error.
Also at plenary, the House moved in favor of a motion to investigate activities of the Foreign Affairs Ministry and missions following issues on visa fee, among others.
Aware that the government has set in motion reforms for effective service delivery in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, parastatals, and the missions. Further aware that government has put in place a clearly defined foreign policy of trust, of democracy, development, demography, and diaspora, known commonly as the 4Ds, to usher in a new foreign policy focus for the country. Concerned that the House has taken several steps to ensure that the reforms and policy trust comes to fruition for the good of our country. And in spite of all efforts of this House, Nigerians around the world are faced with challenges in consular services across our missions. Further concerned that many Nigerians are illegally held or imprisoned in foreign countries, and often under harsh conditions that may lead to loss of lives if urgent actions are not taken. Convinced that many Nigerian students are stranded in foreign lands over issues that can be resolved, and that many Nigerians own businesses around the world helping to contribute to the economy of those countries and sending remittances back home, they are suffering harassment and sabotage. Cognizant that many Nigerians go through extreme difficulties to ensure visa for legitimate travels, including government officials and legislators, after paying exorbitant visa fees. Disturbed that many embassies, in a bid to ease visa application processes, have resorted to outsourcing this process to agents whose high cost of services are borne by Nigeria. That several modes of visa applications are in force, including express services with huge cost paid by applicants who are sometimes denied visa after such payments. Conscious that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in addition to budgetary allocation, benefits from intervention funds, from running the affairs of the ministry and missions, as well as the internally generated revenue by several missions around the world, has questions in the effective and efficient utilization of such funds over the years. Perturbed that the committee had received several complaints regarding issues of employment in the ministry and missions, appointments, postings, redeployments, and disciplinary issues that have affected morals and service delivery. Further perturbed that the country has properties and assets across the world under various missions, many underutilized and several others abandoned, which, if properly audited and enhanced, will enhance efficiency of our foreign services and increase the revenue that is generated by the federal government. Worried that a lot of missions, local staff ceiling has been exceeded due to violation of rules, and in some instances, the ceiling of foreign service officers. This has further resulted in indebtedness in the respective missions. Further worried that if these issues are not investigated, appropriate and urgent actions not taken by the House, it may lead to loss of lives and properties, further difficulties in visa and consular services, home and abroad, malfeasance and waste, inefficiency and loss of revenue, poor implementation of government reforms, and the 4D policy trust.
Also at plenary, the House urged the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who is the chairman of the board of the NDPHC, to summon an emergency meeting of the board for the urgent resuscitation of the Gbarain power plant in order to increase the national grid moved by Honorable Oboku Ofoji.
Mr. Speaker, one is prompted to doubt the competence of the Niger Delta Holding Company to manage this power plant, which has the potential to be the largest power station in the nation because of the comparative advantage of over other power plants in its proximity to gas.
The debate for or against the award of contract on the Lagos-Calabar highway has been at the front burner of national discourse. At plenary, the lawmakers accused the federal government of not following due process, hence the need to probe the contract.
Disturbed that the contingent liabilities accruing to the federal government of Nigeria on this project violate the Debt Management Office Establishment Act 2023. As Section 22(3) states that a minister shall not guarantee an external loan unless the terms and conditions of the loan shall have been laid before the National Assembly.
These lawmakers say the 2007 Procurement Act was violated and certain approvals by the National Assembly as required by the law were not given. The House is asking the Minister of Works, Finance, Attorney General and Minister of Justice to avail the National Assembly copies of the document for award of the contract. The motion was referred to the House Committee on Power for further legislative action. Plenary resumes next week, Tuesday.